guys, for the love of crafting and sharing collaboration, that is just a big group of ladies who all love to scrapbook and craft, and every month we're given a challenge to kind of complete, and then we all share it on the 20th of the month. So this month was showing some love by scrap lifting somebody, and I I think I probably it's one of my number one comments that I always put on people's layouts is, "Ooh, I love this so much. Can I scrap lift it?" And so I definitely pull a lot of inspiration from my favorite scrapbookers. Well, just from any scrapbooker. When I see something new or I see a color combination that I haven't thought to use before or whatever it might be, I always like to file that away in the back of my mind and try it out for myself. So it was kind of hard to pick what I wanted to scrap lift, but I decided because my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit this month is all about Valentine's, and so I have lots of hearts and things like that. I thought it would be fun to take a look and see if I could find something that was just filled with hearts. And this layout by Crystal from Pineapple Papers just caught my attention instantly because I love doing stuff like this where you're punching out shapes and you're just creating these big clusters because it lets you get so much pattern and color and interest onto your layout. So it's great for using up this paper pad. This is kind of the bulk of my kit for the month is this Hello Love paper pad that I have. It's now a few years old. I think when I looked at it, it's from 2015. Does that sound right? Um, and it's just got tons and tons of paper in it. I feel like I've been using it all month. I used it last year and it still feels like it's more full than not. So this was a great way for me to punch a whole bunch of hearts and get lots of pattern onto this layout. So mine's a little bit different in the sense that I don't have a big heart punch. I thought I did, but um, if I do, it's disappeared somewhere. So my biggest hearts in my clusters actually come from the paper itself. I just cut out those really fun kind of geometric hearts. I've used up most of that piece of paper just by fussy cutting those hearts out. So a great way to stretch that paper for sure. But I cut a bunch of those out and then I punched a bunch of other ones. You saw there I have 3 little punches. They're fairly tiny and I wanted something even bigger than that. So the stamp set that I have right up in the left top corner, that's a Stampin' Up! Stamp set and it has a really big open heart. And so I went ahead and stamped a bunch of those on the paper first. And then I did stamp a couple of smaller ones too, just to get some of the really bold black in there. And now I'm just going to put all of my little fussy cut and punched out hearts in 2 clusters kind of diagonal across the paper, just like Crystal. And I'm going to add some wood veneer to this as well because again, it gives me a little bit of that bigger size. Plus now I'm adding lots of fun texture into my clusters too. And the picture that I'm scrapping is actually just a picture of our home study. So this is from last year when our home study just came in for the adoption that we're going through right now. And I just wanted to document it. I thought I was maybe going to be documenting it in Project Life or something like that. But the other kind of challenge with having a Valentine's kit is figuring out how to use all these fun Valentine's-y themed products for non-Valentine's things. And so obviously when you think of hearts, you think of love. And so I was just looking for a picture that was something that we love. And we, oddly enough, love going through home studies. Um, I mean, they're stressful, don't get me wrong, but we've been very fortunate to have 2 really good ones. So they're kind of exciting for us to go through and talk about our family and get really pumped up for the adoption journey. So I thought that hearts would work really well with this picture. The background paper too, that's actually a Studio Calico paper. So in Crystal's layout, she has a dark, I think it's black, but it could be even maybe navy blue, but a dark black background and then little tiny hearts on it. And so when I saw this paper, I thought, okay, that's perfect. That'll match my really soft pinks that come from the Hello Love collection, but I still wanted to get some black in there because I have the stamping. So I'm going to go ahead and just really roughly cut uh, these edges. I already glued everything down. All my hearts are glued down, and I used wet glue just because I thought it would save some time over having to put um, the tape runner on all of those teeny tiny hearts. So they're already all glued down, so I just really roughly cut the edges, and I'm going to mat this whole layout on a black background. So that kind of, I feel like that really grounds the layout and kind of gives me that little bit of a border so it doesn't look like everything's just running right off the edge, and it brings in that dark black color. And also the writing on the home study document is dark black, and it's a big contrast with the white. So I thought this kind of brought everything together, kind of ties it all together and keeps that picture from looking like it's just floating. And I've also added a few little enamel dots in there, things from uh, Illustrated Faith, and there's a couple little glittery white hearts that come from Freckled Fawn, just all kinds of little hearts in different textures that I could find to add into my little cluster. So now for my title, I was trying to think how I could use some of these thickers because I have a ton of them and I'm not using them up as much as I should be. So I liked the word adventure because obviously for us anyways, we always talk about adoption as being, well, we talk about it as being a bit of a roller coaster, or we talk about it as being on an adventure. So that worked out really good. And what I end up picking is on to the next adventure because this is our second adoption. So those top pink letters, those come from Close to My Heart, I think. Yes, Close to My Heart. And then the middle ones are October Afternoon, and then that bottom one is the foam thickers. And my last little touch here, I'm going to do some splatters. I kind of regret doing these. I wish I had maybe stopped at the pink because none of the pink actually fell onto the wood veneer. But these wood veneer are super absorbent. I guess maybe that's the payoff for getting them from Dollarama. You get a ton of them, but they're much more porous. So you can see how they're just absorbing that color. But that's okay. You live and learn, and I still think it turned out really pretty. I really like it. But in the future, I will try to remember not to put my mists near that wood veneer. And that's it. That is my layout. So down below, you're going to find links to everybody else who played along this month. So be sure to check them all out and show some love. And thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, you can also leave them for me down below. And until next time, happy scrapbooking. Bye.